Welcome back to Fanopy Growth. I am your host, Jacob, and I will be looking at this stock again, Canopy Growth. Welcome back, guys, for everyone that's been following and keeping up to date with this stock. We're going to be going over this last week. So, it started on August 24th. You see, we started around 16 and we marched up throughout the week. Went up to next day around 1660, 1675, right around there. Had a little up and down movement. See that throughout Tuesday, Wednesday. So as you can see, kind of moving around a little bit, but we are heading up, which is a great thing. You see that, dance around this 16 area, 1650 to 1670, 1680, and we actually ended the week out up considerably, I'd say. We're at 1692 going into the 1690 going into the week, and as you can see, there are some good things going on as far as the price action. So and some you know, pretty good movement there. So we can take a look at some of these articles on here. There's a couple of them that I actually like. So talk about this one right here. So Canopy Growth solidifies national retail footprint with expansion into Alberta market. So company to open 10 retail stores across Alberta under the Tokyo Smoke and Tweed banners, marking its first retail cannabis presence in the province. So this is a good step towards us taking over Canada and having stores to support that, and for customers to be able to come in and purchase products and get educated on different products, and just to kind of see them in their neighborhood is a good thing. Um, so you can see the different stores there. Say, we are thrilled to announce this milestone and excited to bring Tokyo Smoke and Tweed guest experiences to Alberta for the first time. So that's from Grant Catton, General Manager for Canopy Growth in Canada. So you've seen the value brick and mortar retail brings to our consumers, welcoming new guests to learn about cannabis and building relationships in new communities. And we're excited to share our knowledge and industry leadership across this country. So yeah, this is a good step to growing, and we're trying to become bigger there. So that was a good thing to read. Another article I want to look at, actually off of their Twitter page, I seen that this was a tweet that they had here, where we have some information about David Klein. So the CEO recently chatted with the LA Weekly about working through a pandemic, selling 1 million cannabis beverages, and entering the U.S. market. So I thought this was pretty informative, actually. You see David on here talking about uh, how it's been, working through this pandemic and trying to uh, perform well, and also he talks about the different things that are going on. So we'll just touch on a few things on it, but so talk about how the pandemic was, definitely a factor. Um, so they had to actually even close up the shop for a little bit. They were able to open back up towards the end of April, but that did affect things. Um, he says that one thing he noted, one of the cool things that came out of everything was Canopy's rapid advancement across various e-commerce platforms amid the pandemic. So yeah, he kind of talks about how Canada has been like a learning experience, and this is a new market. Um, he's comparing it almost to like the alcohol industry and prohibition. He thinks that with this new market, that there's going to be a lot of opportunity just from it being illegal for so long, and everybody wants to kind of take part of it. So, he talks about the quality. The quality is one thing that Canopy is definitely working on to improve. They understand that people want good quality. So they've been working on helping out with their grows and drying process, all that. Um, I already read the article, so I'll just kind of talk about some of the things without pointing out them in the article. But he talks about you know it's a big market, and make no mistake about it. If you want to win in cannabis, you're gonna have to win in the U.S. over time. But for us, we're using Canada as a way to get our model right, and we've clearly made some mistakes. We think we're correcting those. So he wants to develop products that will appeal to the consumers in the U.S. and they'll try them out in Canada, and we'll see. We have to tweak them a little bit. So he's touching on that. He also speaks about like the MORE Act. So the MORE Act is a legalization bill with a lot of community reinvestment and restorative justice measures worked in. So its chief sponsor in the Senate is the new Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris, however you say her name. Apologize if I said that, but Bill served as one of the moves to dice her relationship with the cannabis world after years as a prosecutor. Needless to say, we thought the concept of a vice presidential nominee filing a legalization bill 2 months before the election seemed pretty wild. I agree. So yeah, I think she knows, if she did play a part in any of the um, justice and criminal effects of cannabis in America as a prosecutor, she wants to try to do something to, remedy that and to help if she realizes that this is something that shouldn't have been done and she's trying to make a change with it. So, this is definitely a big thing when it comes to restorative justice, because many people are locked in jail right now for selling cannabis or for simply possessing it sometimes. But if things are going to change, then they have to change for everybody. I think that we see as a people that marijuana is not that bad. So yes, it needs to be done right. It needs to be governed correctly. It needs to have safety measures. But there's a way that we can get to this so where people can use cannabis and it can be acceptable. So that's just my take on it. But they talk about how much the alcohol industry does. So the beer market in Canada sells about 240 million cases, which is just under 6 billion units. So said Klein, putting into perspective. So we sold 1 million units during this a period. I believe it was in July or around that time. But 1 million is cool, but the other guys are selling 6 billion. So we got a lot of work to do, but it's just showing you how much of an opportunity is here. We're not going to take all the sales away from alcohol, at least not right away, but we like a slice of the pie, That's what they're saying. So we're going to have to work on that. Nothing easy about being a publicly traded company in an industry that's developing. So, this isn't something new here. So, and one thing that he liked to end on, which I think is a great thing to end on as well. So, Klein talks about, so Klein argues that if you judge a business from day one to today, you would say this is a struggling set of businesses that are in a struggling industry. I think if you look at where some of the players are today and also focus solely on Canopy, we're sitting here with a business that we see the path to profitability. We see and maybe even believe more in the market size now than when the investment money came in. We're trying to fix the things we know we need to get better at, like understanding the consumer and improving our quality. And then Klein also argued that even though the corrections are ongoing. Quote, I'm sitting here today with $2 billion in cash on my balance sheet. So I'm feeling like, should we have some haters that invested over the last couple of years? Yeah, I get it. We're not the first industry that's kind of gone through that, irrational exuberance cycle to kind of almost a bust cycle. But I don't think you can deny that the industry is coming. So Klein closed by noting that when he takes a look at the portfolio of intellectual property Canopy has, the talent they have in some of the brand's production assets and ways to get into the US and such, quote, I feel really, really bullish on where we sit today. So I think that perfectly kind of sums up how I feel and how uh, David Klein feels about Canopy. So, this is going to be a big thing. And for the people that are in it now, we hopefully will be able to gain a lot. So I think that was a great article there. I kind of was looking at just a little bit on, it's nice to see these publications and things about, where they're including our cannabis beverages in them, like Houseplant, that's a seltzer. So yeah, this is going to be a great thing. This was another great video where they talked about the restorative justice and stuff. Toy Hutchison, who works in Illinois, who is works under, I believe it's like either the governor or the senator or the mayor, but she is actually working to try to bring cannabis to the forefront and to work on the legalization and anything we can do to try to get some equity here for people that were affected by cannabis negatively. And now that it's going to be legalizing, we want some equity here in this space. So you guys can check out that video. And, this is great. It's great to see Canopy being a leader and trying to spread the word on cannabis legalization, so we can become the #1 cannabis company in the United States as well as around the world. So, yeah, I think we're going to leave it there. We're doing pretty good. We're going to take one more look at the Canopy here before we get started on today. So, yeah, let's good luck to everybody in the market, and let's hope that everybody can be successful. There's a conference coming up. It's going to be a virtual conference, um, and Canopy Growth is participating in Barclays Global Consumer Staples Conference on September 9, 2020. So you can mark your calendars for that. You can check that out, and stay tuned, okay? So let's have good luck this week, guys. And we'll see you guys next week, and we'll check back in. And thank you guys for checking out Canopy and for being a part of Fanopy Growth and what we do here. Take care.